Welcome to video number 3 of our Jeep Wrangler saga. Sadly, I sold a lemon to somebody by accident, and it happened to be an acquaintance of mine. This being the lemon. It was an absolute headache and a drama, and I vlogged the whole story because I wanted to know how you guys handle these situations. And then in video 2, the customer crashed the Jeep, and that was a whole saga, and I told you how I overcame the issues, and hopefully I think I helped the customer out. Now, fast forward 1 month later, this Jeep has been sitting for over a month because we've had the Dodge Viper, the Ferrari, the Hummer, all kinds of videos and cars get in the way of this Jeep, and Jeep Wrangler season is drifting away, and this thing is still sitting here. This is now a crashed 2012 Jeep Wrangler with a dented bumper. Like, we need alignment and some issues going on in the steering now. You can see it's missing the fender because we removed the fender and the trim here. We have some body work that's needed here and here. You know, she crashed the Jeep and we bought it back, and now it's our responsibility to fix it. Luckily, the insurance paid for the repairs, so it's not coming out of our pocket, which is how we fixed the problem in video number 2. Video number 3, we're gonna bring this thing back to life, and then we're gonna sell it and try to get our money back and get out of this whole headache that was 3 videos long. My name is Craig from Flying Wheels. Let's get this Jeep up and running and reliable and sold. Let's get going. Well, there she is, the first start in over 30 days. And today is Jeep Wrangler Day. That Jeep Wrangler is a bust, and we're gonna turn it into hopefully something positive. This is a 2008 Jeep Wrangler Tudor that we're going to show you how we brought this back to life. And this right here is a 2015 Jeep Wrangler that we brought back to life. And this right here is a Cadillac Escalade convertible that I liked more than Jeep Wranglers. But what was in that spot yesterday was a 2011 Jeep Wrangler that we bought, fixed, sold, and did really well on. And we probably did too much to it, but we did well on it. But this is what the video is about. We're gonna do a lot of work to this car in today's video. We already know that it's inspectable. The check engine light was on, which is why it was returned. It needed some love engine-wise, Jeep Wrangler lifters. And we're just gonna go through it and fix it, and unfortunately have to detail it again. And I'm gonna show you the end, if we made any money, if we broke even, if we ended up losing money. Luckily, like as you can see, the sun is out, so we are in Jeep season. So we gotta get it up and out and gone quickly. Same with those two, because once we're into August, it gets too late. Jeep Wrangler season's over, and now we're into car and SUV and truck season, so we gotta get these things out of here. My allergies are terrible right now. It's summer and the pollen is still like crazy. So we've already serviced it, we've already inspected it, we've already gone through it. It does have a check engine light that keeps coming on, and now that it was hitting the corner, we need to check. We're gonna do an alignment, but we have to check the front end components. So we pulled the fender off already a month ago when it came in. We pulled the fender off so we can correct that. We can clean this up in-house, and like you can even see just a month worth of sitting. It's already starting to rust, so we'll have to clean all that rust off too. And we're gonna have to make sure everything's tight here. This, Dave, let's start by pulling the bumper right off. Yep. I have a new bumper for it that we can throw on there. We have to make sure that everything is still straight. So the bumper is bent here, but you can see the connections still look somewhat straight. So when we pull the bumper off, we get a better look at it. Everything here is straight, which is great. The sway bars, the torsion bars, everything not cocked or out of, they don't look like they're out of alignment. The sway bar link is still there, and the frame is still straight in all the connections. So it looks like we got pretty lucky, and it could quite just be cosmetic. And a lot of cosmetics we can do in-house.
You can see here where it's scraped. The paint's been scraped off here, even up here, and then all this.
This was not like this when we sold it. I mean, it's obviously rusty and it was going to crack eventually, but she must have hit something here, and then this right here. So I'll get a new gas tank cover as well for it. I mean, the gas tank's plastic. This is just a cover that protects it. So we'll drop this whole thing down. Look at, you can see it right here. So we'll buy a new gas tank cover and we'll mount that up too. So why don't you drop that also?
The cover for the gas tank is what holds the gas tank up.
Oh, yep, all right. Okay, so we'll do that when the cover comes in.
You can see here too.
You must have done some off-roading in it. I don't know, maybe your boyfriend took it off. We used to do the same thing to our girlfriends' cars. The convertibles would get burnouts, the rear-wheel drive cars would get burnouts, and the Jeeps would go off-road. Now, as far as the fender goes, it has the original decals on it. The paint's in decent shape, and I really don't want to blend black paint into the hood, into the door. So we're gonna try to pull this. This looks like it's the only damage to the fender here and here. So we're gonna try to pull this out. The problem is, Dave, if you could flip it over, it's double plated and tack welded in. So we can't just pop it from here, which is kind of a bummer. So flip it over again. We're gonna have to tap this and pull it. So wrap it in a towel, put it in a vise, and we use our slide hammer to pull it out. So right here we have a slide hammer kit. You can get these from Harbor Freight. They come with all kinds of attachments to pull fenders and body parts. This, super simple and so basic. A screw screws in right here. Tap a little hole, screw this in, and then just slowly pull the dent out. I'm gonna need to do body work no matter what. So let's tap a couple holes and we'll pull it out. Auto body shops are gonna hate me for this repair, but this is gonna be decently presentable when I'm finished. So we have the fender stabilized, and yes, between the vise we have a towel so it doesn't ruin the fender, and we're just gonna pop it. Go ahead and pop it a couple times with that screw to pull through. You're gonna have to do multiple times all around the weak points. The weak points are on the outside, so you might even be better not going to the middle, going from the outsides first. You're gonna have to tap a bunch of holes in it anyway. Yeah. All right, what's going on back here? I know we have a special guest that everybody's going to appreciate. Is he hiding? Say hello to everybody. This is a whole new video you get to be in. So we have the bumper, we have the fender being pulled. This is what we wanted you for. Your tack welds would have been perfect right there, and your body work. So we get a crunch right there. Yeah, yes, some crunch there and there. All right. We have the fender primed and now it's ready for paint. I'm trying to blend it best I can. I don't want to remove stickers, and that matches the door. This, you can get away with blending. We'll let that dry and then we'll wet sand it so that blends tomorrow. All right, so we have skid plate. That is going nowhere now. That tank is up there. So that looks great. And then we have the fender painted. Fender can be installed now. And then I'll wet sand and polish it once it's installed. The Jeep is almost complete. So you'll see here, we actually use a slide hammer, this right here. So we drilled a couple holes. This screws into the hole. And then, let me see if I can do this correctly. We pull, actually it goes like this, pull the dent. Then we do it several times, it pulls the dent out. Now we can mar glass over it, then use some body filler when we're done. And I'm just gonna kind of level the paint and try to get it to blend best I can. And that should be done as well. On a different note, because we found kind of a rusty gas pan cover, we got a new cover, which is completely sturdy. It can hold my whole body weight. So that's brand new as well. Final coat, here we go. Nice flat surface. We'll hand sand that now. Prime it with filler primer. Paint it, blend it, good to go. And there we go. As wavy as the ocean, but very presentable.
The next day.
All right, it's the next day. We're gonna take this to the tire shop for full wheel alignment because the wheel is off, the steering wheel is off, which is also causing the traction control light to come on. That is our finished product right there, which is respectable, I think, reasonable. So we have that fixed, we have that fixed. Car runs great. Great news. So the check engine light was on originally when I sold this thing. You know, we had the whole check engine light problem. We did the lifter, we did all kinds of stuff to it, right? Well, the check engine light came on again, which is between the check engine light coming on again and the car accident, the owners were like, forget it, I don't want this thing, let's return it. Well, the check engine light wasn't on for that misfire again. It was just a small evap leak. It was obviously an existing problem I didn't know about, but it wasn't the same problem as before, which is great. So it was a significantly easier fix than tearing into the engine and diagnosing further problems. So we got really, really lucky with that. I don't blame the previous owners for wanting to get rid of this thing. Between the accident, the check engine lights, and not having it, and all the headaches they had, they're done with it. It was cursed to them. But for me, we did end up fixing the problem, and it was a different, smaller problem that caused the check engine light to come on. So I've been driving it for a couple days before the bodywork repair, and you'll see here the traction light is on. Check engine light hasn't come on since we fixed the evap leak. I'm gonna drive a little bit more after the four-wheel alignment, just make sure we're good. Passes all emissions, all testing. There's 8 monitors. We'll make sure it passes all 8 monitors as well, and then we'll be good to sell this thing. So let's get it to the tire shop. Okay, so we're going straight, and you can see the wheel is off right now. So, and then when I hit the brakes, it pulls to the left a little bit. That is an alignment issue, which causes the traction light to come on because the clock spring is off. So we'll have the steering wheel aligned as well as the front end, and we should be all set when we pick this thing up. So we're gonna leave it here for the alignment. We'll come back in a couple days. In the meantime, today was auction day. Just picked up this 2017 Silverado, 111,000 miles, four-wheel drive, front end lift. Not a bad truck. And look who's driving it, Papa Al.
Several days later.
All right, the weekend is over. It's Monday. I'm back at the tire shop. They did the four-wheel alignment. The alignment looks good. The bodywork here, presentable. The bodywork down there, very presentable. The blend, also very presentable. Let's just go in the car now and see if our steering wheel is straight, which it should be. All right, we're straight. Let's take it for a little spinaroo. My traction light's still on, which should shut off when I start driving. We will find out. Unless we need to replace the wheel speed sensor or something. Usually that will go out with the four-wheel alignment. Yeah, we're straight. That's awesome.
A few moments later.
We're back at the shop now. You'll see this inspection sticker expired May of 2023. There are 8 monitors, computer monitors, 8 emissions monitors that need to be verified and checked and completed. So the system needs 8 monitors completed. Now to pass the New Hampshire State inspection, up to 7 monitors actually have to be completed. So I can still have 1 unready. In order to check that, I need a scan tool to run the computer diagnostics. So look past my Escalade convertible, my C7, my C8, you'll see my computer diagnostics drawer. Now this one, super expensive. We've had snap-on scan tools that were super expensive. This one's outdated. You can see how big it is. This from Mucar, I use this all the time because it's very portable, very handy. It's actually battery operated. It charges off a USB-C port, which is awesome, or it just turns on off your OBD port. Now, like I said, this one's obsolete, and I've had $4,000 snap-on ones. This is my favorite, my Mucar CDE900 PRO. This does everything $4,000 scan tools will do, and it is literally a fraction, like a tenth of the price. Same thing, it is battery operated. You'll see it turning on right now, so you don't actually have to have it plugged into your car. It saves all of your diagnostics, so I can plug it into my car, and then like a lot of OBD scanners, when I unplug, it dies. This one, because it's battery operated, I can unplug it, bring it into my office, and still have all the live readouts, all the diagnostic tools still up on the screen without it dying. So I'm gonna plug it in right here, and this is how I read my computer on my cars. All right, the key is on position 2. We're gonna hit OK. It's all touchscreen, or I can work it off the toggles here. I'm gonna read the code freeze frame, read codes, no fault codes, which is great, so we'll go back. Onboard monitor, so test my oxygen sensors, my voltage. But right here, you'll see everything is passed, so smog. Everything has passed but my oxygen sensors. So my misfires, fuel, my CCM, my CATs, my evap was the one the check engine light was on for, my heater, my EGR, everything passed but one, meaning I can plug this into my inspection machine, my New Hampshire State inspection machine, and get my new sticker, which is great news, meaning it wasn't the problem that we thought before, meaning the problem before has been repaired, and then it was just an evap leak, which we repaired as well. So nice and simple repairs, and we got really lucky on this one. I thought we were gonna have to do internal engine work, and we didn't. In the meantime, look at how beautiful this is. Which would you guys prefer, front engine or mid engine? This is a C7, that's a C8. C7 is the generation before, engine's in the front. It literally still smells like a new car. Alcantara leather combination, automatic transmission. These actually come in a 7-speed manual transmission. If this was a 7-speed manual, I would rather this car. These only come in automatic, but it's an integrated paddle shifter, like a genuine F1 style paddle shifter, those aren't as race feel with the paddle shifters. It's more of like an everyday car. This feels like a race car. All right, let's see if my computer's on. It's still loading. So now with the vehicle running, we plug the OBD port into the scanner, the scan tool, the New Hampshire State inspection machine. We run it through emissions and it checks our emissions. Everything has already passed once. This was just a recheck for emissions, so it passed safety already. We'll correct for fuel system, which is what we corrected. There was a vapor leak, we corrected that. There was actually an unsecured tank, so we'll correct that as well, both of those. And then it will offer me to put a new inspection sticker to next year on the car. So here we go. Ours expire in March 2024. I can enter the inspection sticker number. Hit OK, and it will print our new inspection sticker. So we passed. So we got really lucky on this one. Now, I had mentioned this several times in the video series. The check engine light came on again. So the customer was just fed up and said, forget it. I don't even want this thing anymore. The check engine light keeps coming on. Turns out we did fix the really expensive problem, and it was just a minor fix after that, which we never got to because the check engine light kept coming on for the bigger issue. Once the bigger issue was fixed, then the smaller issue came on. They had had enough with the Jeep, and then they got into a car accident. So this worked out really well for me because I got it repaired. It wasn't internal engine issues. It was a small vapor leak of the fuel system. And here we go. We now have our new inspection sticker. So I'm gonna put my Mucar scan tool away right next to my other Mucar scan tool. I already washed it. We're gonna shine the tires and re-photograph it because it's now a different season and try to list this thing for sale again. Now in New Hampshire, we have 2 types of inspections. We have a safety inspection, which is physical parts like tires, brakes, ball joints, tie rods, and fuel lines, and brake lines, and all those things. Anything that's safety related that can cause an accident and fail. The second part is emissions. Like California has smog, we have a very similar emissions related inspection. So this passed safety already. It now just passed smog emissions, which is great. How does it pass that? Well, in order to pass all those monitors, the 8 monitors that I was telling you about, you have to drive the vehicle. So I've driven this vehicle enough to pass all of the emissions, which was an issue before. Now in the other videos, you would have seen that I drove the car over and over and then gave it back to the customer, and then the check engine light came on because I never drove the car enough enough for all the monitors to pass. And now that they have, and we have a brand new sticker on it instead of a rejection sticker, I can sell this car safely with confidence, knowing that it's actually decent enough to sell and that we have done all the necessary repairs. So somebody is getting a good vehicle again and not what I thought was a good vehicle originally. Now we're at my secret hiding spot where I take all my photographs. We'll photograph it up and put it back up online for sale. So here we go. Here is the finished product in sunlight. So if there was an issue, now is when you would see it. Rain hides everything, sun shows everything. So let's do a walk around of everything we did. The bumper has been replaced. The bumper support behind the plastic has been replaced. Fog lights fit, tow hitches fit. The grille fits perfectly. The headlights are still aligned. We did a headlight alignment too as well. I repaired this on the original fender because we pulled it out. You'll see there's still a little bit of a gap, but everything lines up. The hood shuts, everything's okay here. The full wheel alignment was done, so you can see that both front tires are straight. Good even wear on the tires. Now because of the full wheel alignment, tires have good tread. Fender was replaced, as well as all the clips on the inside and the push pins to hold the fender liner in. And then I didn't want to replace this fender because I would have never matched these two. And then I'd have to get new decals, which I don't know that I would have got on straight. The fender wouldn't have matched the door and the pillars. So that is why I did the repair to the fender and not a replacement to the fender. You would have absolutely noticed brand new black paint versus 11-year-old black paint. It just wouldn't have matched well enough, and I would have had to blend it into the door, into the hood, into the covers. It just would have been way more work, far more noticeable. I'm not a skilled enough painter to do so, so we did the repair and we blended it just in the fender, which if you can see right here, you can kind of see the blend right there, but it's way better than having it mismatched in a giant black area. Now down here, same thing, we did the repair down here, blended it, put on the tank cover right there, and then we did a full buff, full polish, full detail again on the car, full safety inspection again on it. We have brand new rear brake pads and rotors. We have a brand new upgraded stereo, touchscreen stereo, which wasn't in the original ad. So now it's actually better than it was when we originally listed it. And I'm still gonna list it for the same price. This Jeep, I enjoy projects like this, but the big thing is showing you how I turn lemons into lemonade, literally, because our first video was I accidentally sold a friend a lemon, which I don't have a crystal ball. I cannot predict the future, which is the hardest part of this job. I don't know what's gonna happen because I don't know what was hidden. Why was this car at the auction? That's my job to find out, and I just can't figure everything out, nor do we have the time to drive every car 150 miles to figure it out. So it's a gamble on every car we buy, which is really difficult. And sometimes we come into a crossroads where we have issues and we have problems, and I think I took care of it with the customer. I bought it back from them. Their daughter has a new car now, has been driving for several months. The series took several months because it kind of just sat on the back burner, but we figured out the issues. They were content. I don't think they'll say anything bad about us anymore because I tried to take care of him best I could. He was reasonable. I think I was reasonable. And now we have a Jeep Wrangler again in the summer that I can sell and we can make our money back. And I didn't have to foot the bill out of pocket to pay for all these repairs. I just tied up my money for 2.5 months, which is kind of a bummer. So for now, this Jeep Saga series headache is over. You didn't think I was gonna leave you on a cliffhanger. Don't you want to know how much I made in profit on the Wrangler? Well, I'm gonna tell you right now because it is now September. That Jeep sold shortly after I made that video in August, and we did make a profit. So I'm gonna recap everything for you right now and go over the numbers. So in video number 1, I ended up agreeing to purchase the Jeep back for the original sale price. Now, the daughter had already crashed it, so what I did, instead of having them pay for the damages or have them send it to a repair shop and tie up all their money that they have on the Jeep because they had a loan on it, I had them file a claim through their insurance for her accident. I did a direct-to-pay form where they paid me directly, meaning the insurance company paid me to do all the repairs. They paid flying wheels. We ended up making some money on the repair work because we did the repairs instead of sending it to a body shop and having it sit for 2 to 3 months. I wrote the customer, the original customer, a check for the balance minus their loan. So I paid off their loan for them. I gave them a check for the difference for exactly what they paid for the car, so they got all their money back. That gave us time to fix the car while we waited for the title to arrive here. By the time the title arrived back here, I had the car already repaired, fixed, and listed for sale, which is where you just saw me leaving that last scene. Well, it was still summer, so we sold that Jeep to someone else. I drove it for many, many days to make sure that the check engine light never came back on. I plugged it into the computer. It passed emissions. We got a current inspection sticker, meaning the check engine light was now not going to come on because it was never able to pass emissions previously. Now it did. We then sold the Jeep repaired for the exact same price we sold it for the first time, which was $13,995. It gave us a total profit from the day we purchased it the first time to now, a profit of $3,050. So we didn't make $3,000 twice. We only made the profit on it once. We broke even from the first customer. Now, we made $3,050 when we sold it. We also made some money for doing the repairs in-house. We made not a ton of money, but we made a little bit more. So all the headaches, all the sadness, all the depression that Jeep put me through still netted a profit for us almost 2 times because of the insurance claim as well. It kept the employees busy. It gave us a story for these YouTube videos, and it actually showed you the behind the scenes of what it's like to be a car dealer, because it's not all easy. I don't just get to buy a car, throw it for sale, and make tons and tons of money. There's a lot that goes into it on the backside. Like I showed you, that is $3,600 in repairs on that Jeep right there. That right there is our last Wrangler. We're stocking up with SUVs, 4-wheel drives, trucks. We are loaded up for winter, to be quite honest with you, even with tax time comes. Hopefully these are gone by tax time, but we are completely loaded up with winter cars now. I only have 1 Jeep left. It is September now. I have to get rid of that thing. The season's over, and that's a soft top. So yeah, it's 90 degrees this whole week in September, but if we get a cold front, the first thing people are gonna say is, do you have a hard top of that Jeep? And then nobody's gonna buy it, and then I'm stuck with it till next spring, which we do not want. We gotta liquidate that Jeep too. So I hope this video was helpful. If it was, thumbs ups are always appreciated. If you enjoy my misery, even better, tell me in the comments what I did right, what I did wrong, what you would have done differently. I read them. And thanks for watching. I'll see you all later. Oh, thumbs ups. Just hit the thumbs up. It's so easy for you. It's free for you, and it's helpful to me. Thank you very much. I'll see you all later. Adios.